April 2007. Once again, I'm sitting on the edge of the bathtub, praying for a miracle. My hands are trembling as I look at my pregnancy kit and pray for 2 red stripes. But deep down, I know that I'm going to be disappointing myself and everyone around me. The next 5 minutes feel like a lifetime. And finally, when I look at that pregnancy kit, it's a rude reminder of my failure with one single red line. That one single red line is like that cross. That cross that we see on our exam paper. The cross on that rejected job application. The cross in the eyes of your parents. A sign of disapproval. The question is, can we change this cross into a tick? Between 2007 and 2008, I was a complete mess. Every month I was in internal turmoil because I felt that I was failing. Waiting for that miracle, those 2 red stripes. My body clock was ticking and family pressure was increasing. Each month questions, when's the good news? Well, if there was the good news, you would hear about it. I felt like I was succumbing to societal pressures, that my existence would only be proven once I had a child. How many women over here have felt family pressure? Raise your hand. Look around. You're not alone. Stereotype, mindset, and societal conditioning expects us to be perfect. Perfect daughters, perfect wives, perfect mothers. To be married off by a certain time, to have a child by a certain time, to be able to perfectly balance our home and our work. We are literally like chameleons, changing our identity to suit the needs of everyone. The question is, what about us? Those sleepless nights and crying into the pillow made me realize I was miserable at my failings and I needed to get a grip of my life. And somebody whispered, IVF. As if saying it aloud would mean that I am incapable of having a child naturally. I decided to start that journey of IVF, the uncharted territory. Was the journey easy? Well, from the initial lies that we are on a procedure to then jabbing injections into my stomach and developing ovarian hyperstimulation, it sure didn't seem easy. But it was all done and born in the pursuit of happiness, to feel validated and to feel complete. After the first procedure, I walked into the room of the doctor, hopeful. And his blank expression gave it up again, that it was a cross and not a tick. A rude reminder of my failure as a woman, that even technology showed me that I was not enough. I walked outside the doctor's office with tears in my eyes, and I told myself, the journey is not over, and I'm not going to give up on myself. My zeal, my persistence, my determination paid off. Because finally, on the 20th of March 2009, 10 a.m. sharp, I gave birth to two beautiful souls, my babies, Risha and Rihanna. I was on top of the world. I had a new identity of a mother. I was complete. The nurse walked into the room with my two babies. I held them like beautiful and feeling complete. She encouraged me to feed them, but they just didn't latch on. And soon, the nurse walked outside that room with two howling, hungry babies and me, now looking at the ceiling and questioning my identity as a mother. Days passed by, and they still didn't latch on. And soon, I did not want to hold them. I did not want to touch them. And I am not even sure when I slipped into postpartum depression. I did not want to be there. I was at those crossroads and I wanted to break through because I wanted to reconnect with myself and my babies. And I did this in 3 ways. Number one, I developed self-awareness that I am in pain and depressed. Number two, zero labeling, zero judgment, accept myself for not being perfect and stop asking for validation. Number three, take responsibility and control over my mind. I started working on my body, and that helped me to balance my body, my mind, and heal my soul. They say that only when you love yourself completely can you love someone else. As I started healing internally, I was ready to help other women in their journey of struggles, help them to explore some uncharted territories, IVF, adoption, surrogacy, or body transformation, and not stand on those crossroads looking further in uncertainty and in judgment. They say that gigantic steps personify a Wonder Woman. Secretly, I believed I was one too. In 2012, I wanted to have another baby, but this time in the form of a business venture. I had been in academics for over a decade, which meant taking a new identity of an entrepreneur meant coming out of my comfort zone. Was I scared? Absolutely. Let me ask each one of you here. Every time when we want to walk outside that comfort zone of ourselves, what stops us? I felt there were chains holding me behind. So what holds you? Are the people around you holding you back, or is it yourself? I shunned those negative thoughts and started my journey because I wanted to merge my passion of providing holistic, accessible education by creating a service to the community. And as my journey started, so did the obstacles start coming. And the words of Brian Tracy echoed in my mind that between you and your goal are a series of obstacles. The bigger the goal, the bigger the obstacles. Each obstacle turned to be a learning lesson and experience for me. And finally, I became a mother. Gave birth to Kids Clubhouse on the 12th of December, 2012. We opened the doors to the world. And over the next 7 years, Kids Clubhouse provided services to the community while bringing smiles and joys to many. But they say that not all fairy tales end happy. My fairy tale of having a dream business came falling down when we closed our doors to the world on the 10th of December, 2019. I remember seeing that there was a downward trend from 2017 onwards. Based inside a mall, the footfall had started reducing because of the deteriorating conditions. But in spite of that, I believed in my vision and continued investing money and providing quality service. But each month, I was burdened by high salaries, high staff income, and low income. I believed that if I held my baby's hand tight, we would be able to pass that tide and come out stronger. But this time, my decision to close my business came too late. When we closed our doors, we burned the money invested by our investors, and I literally gave away the equipment to a juvenile children's home. My identity of an entrepreneur was shaken. I criticized myself. I was harsh on myself and blamed myself for all the doings. Don't we blame ourselves for all those mistakes that we make, even those which are outside our control? I was disappointed at myself and disappointed at making people who had believed in me lose money. But today, as I stand before you, I can say that there are no wasted efforts. Every lesson that I learned from my failed business have become leadership lessons that I share with emerging leaders in their growth journey through my leadership company, Leadership Card. Bang! 2020, the pandemic strikes us. The world is in lockdown. Close your door. Like every one of you, I was scared. There was too much uncertainty and fear all around us. Every day we were bombarded with news of people dying, people suffering, economies crashing down, children out of school, education impacted. I was in pain for the suffering of everyone, but thankful for what I had. I felt hopeless. I wanted to help, but I didn't know how. As I couldn't go out, I chose to go into the virtual world. My first initiative, Mission to the Moon, was launched in December 2020, which gave me the opportunity to merge my passion to teach by providing a service to the community. I helped 22 individuals stuck, feeling trapped, caged in their homes, to help them develop a positive mindset with skill development. June 2021, Project ENLIGHTEN supported 15 visually impaired children with smartphones so that their education, which had been impacted by the pandemic, would not be suffering any longer. August 2021, we went bigger and bolder. Project Enable Super 60 was launched, and we ended up supporting children from low-income families to bridge the technological gap by providing them with smartphones while teaching them virtually. Today, as I stand before you, I share that there are no wasted efforts. My mess has become a message to the world that either You succeed or you learn, as said by John Jacobs in his TEDx speech. I learned from all my messes. And these messes have taught me that if we want to keep moving forward, we have to overcome those obstacles. The obstacles that we face in the form of the 3F syndrome. We all suffer from it. Did you know about it? The 3F syndrome. Fears, failures, and forget who we really are. And if you want to overcome the 3F syndrome, you need the 3C mindset. Courage, consistency, conviction. Courage to accept yourself for who you are because you are enough. Consistency to change every stone thrown your way into a milestone. And conviction to break the stereotype identities, reinvent, re-energize yourself, and have the mindset that you are not a woman, but a Wonder Woman. If I can do it, so can you. So speak to be heard because your voice matters. Your journey matters. You matter. Identify your fears, your failures, and forget. Set an intention to overcome it with courage, consistency, and conviction. And take the plunge because you are not a woman, you're a Wonder Woman.